A woman should be who and what she wants. We support the multifaceted woman. The woman embracing many titles, undertaking different ventures, and building generational wealth. You are a Jackie of all trades, master of your empire. Enterprise Empress, you are an unstoppable force. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to our first Tuesday show of today's Jackie. I'm your co-host, Sharon.
I'm Natalie.
And today we are so excited to welcome our guest, Danielle Jeter. Welcome, Danielle.
Thank you for joining us.
Hey, thank you. So happy to be here.
So this is Danielle's first time on the show. And if this is your first time watching the show, we interview multifaceted women who are wear many titles, undertaking many ventures, and building generational wealth. So you are our Jackie of all trades, master of her empire. So hey, Jackie.
I love that. Way to spin that on the head. That's right.
So as a multifaceted woman, tell us all of your titles.
All right, y'all. I'm a media mogul.
Yes.
Yes.
I am a businesswoman. And I am a media talent. I'm a talent. I'm a speaker. Yeah. We'll go with that. CEO, all that.
All that.
We'll go with that.
Look,
dancer. We could throw dancer in there too.
That's right. You study modern and jazz, right?
Yep. Modern jazz, African, hip hop, ballet.
Me too.
See, y'all had that
since
in
middle school, right?
Yeah.
She still got the body. I just started Club Pilates, and your muscle remembers it. Like once you're a dancer, you're always a dancer. Your muscles remember it, but your fat doesn't forget. It's supposed to stay away.
Still gotta work.
It still gotta work, right?
It ain't fair out here.
Let you go.
So tell us the name. Your company is AOI Events and Public Relations. It's a full service communication firm, correct?
Absolutely. Yep.
Tell us a little bit. Tell us about it.
So my firm, AOI, got started. I was 19 years old as a Spelman student in Atlanta. I started my business, and we started out as a event production company. And maybe about 3 years later, we actually added on the PR services. And the reason being is because I moved back home from Atlanta to Philadelphia, where I'm originally from. And I began to intern at Radio 1.
Oh,
with Kathy Hughes.
With Kathy Hughes.
The Empress media mogul.
Yes.
All of the things. And I went to the radio station because of the promotions department. And at that time, radio was doing a bunch of events. Yeah. So I was like, well, let me continue to perfect my skill and brand myself as somebody very notable in the event space and promotion space. Well, I went there and did that, but I also walked away with a totally new skill set, which was media production. And it's crazy because most people go to the radio station because they want to be an on-air talent.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to go to do the event. So I was really spent a lot of my time on the opposite side rather than in the studio with like the celebrities and the guests and the so forth and so on. But the opportunity presented itself and I ran with it. And so people would call me to say, hey, can you do my PR? Can you do my marketing? And I was like, I never told y'all I did that. And I got a few calls and I was like, oh, wait, maybe I'm onto something. And so I took it and I literally ran with it. And so now our flagship service is media relations. And I help CEOs and their companies land mainstream media features and building notable brands for themselves in the press. So the credibility, the authority, that it factor that you need to really blow your brand and your business out of the water, that's what I do.
And you love it because you smile the entire time.
That's how you know you're in your sweet spot.
Yep.
Yeah, it shines through when you're talking about it. Yeah.
and it's great because that you mentioned it wasn't what you wanted to do, it was what found you. We talk a lot about how real entrepreneurship finds you.
Yeah.
You know, you find what you go after one thing and then it changes. Your business is constantly changing, and you're going to tell us a lot about how your brand is constantly changing.
Constantly changing.
Yeah. So since we're already talking about that now, you want to already jump in with some questions. Yeah.
So just talk a little bit about that, about branding, not just for yourself, but also for other entrepreneurs. Like, where do they start?
Oh, that's a good question. I am such a big cheerleader for building an authentic brand. So show up and be exactly who you are and build whatever this external brand is visually and digitally around who you are as an individual, because you have to walk in that light when the lights are on, when the lights are off, when you feel like walking, when you don't. So like you can't code switch. So start with being authentically who you are. And what I love about today is everything's embraced. Like everything's on the table.
Everything.
So, everybody's out the closet. There's no more bags. Like we can be who we really want to be. So understanding like what your voice is, own your voice, you know, understand who you are as an individual. Everything else that we add on to is just extra bells and whistles, but really knowing who you are, what you stand for, what causes you really like to support, and just being authentic is where you start to build your brand. And I'm not going to give y'all like, oh, do the logo, do the colors. Nah, like who are you? Like let's just start with that.
That's so important. Yeah, go ahead.
And she said the lights turn on and off, but now so when I started in PR, it was like the camera turned on and off. Now the camera doesn't. Like people are constantly, you're live all the time. You don't even know. You know, you're out in the street and someone happened to take a picture or go live and you're in the back of it. Like you're constantly live. So if you're portraying one thing and then something gets captured as not who you are, now you have this conflicting identity, which is what you were talking about. So that's a very good point, to start your branding off with your identity, which requires you to spend time with yourself to figure out who you are.
Right. And I love that you said that, because usually what you hear is the logo and all of those things.
None of those things matter.
But none of those things matter. If at the end of the day you built this brand and you're miserable because that's really not who you are, and you have to put on this facade to go outside, like to go to Publix to get some milk.
Please don't.
Like, right. So I love that you start there, just like at the ground level.
Yeah.
Who are you? Okay, now we can go somewhere from there.
Exactly.
I love that.
So when you talk about branding, a lot of times, traditionally, it was you need to brand your company. Now, currently, it's like you need to brand yourself. You have to brand you as an entrepreneur. Before it was you have to brand the company and the business and the services, right? Which one is important? Do you have to do both? Because there are people out there who are introverted who don't really care to brand themselves individually, but now it's like, this ain't their time.
I talk to people and they like, oh, I'm not sure if I want to like brand myself. And I'm like, then I don't know how you're going to survive out here in these streets. Like, how are you really going to get business and attract business? Really, that's a PR trend for this year. 2021 has been about the thought leader, has been about consumers wanting to connect with brands who actually have a personality and a voice, and like they can get to know this company and this brand. They want to see it. They want to touch it. They want to feel it. They want to experience it. And a brand by itself and a company by itself can't give an experience because it's not a living human. So you being that thought leader, you being upfront and out front with your brand is really the way to go as far as branding is concerned. That's why being authentically who you are, knowing who you are, once you do that and people really buy into the individual, they like you, you can sell them anything. You can go from selling cameras to Rolls Royces to sneakers to rose water. Like you could really sell anything to your community and to your tribe when you amass that level of like influence and like, you know, compassion, and people really start to like who you are. Yeah. So for those people who don't want to brand themselves, honey, you losing.
That's not
I don't know what to tell you.
So are you saying the new social responsibility is personal connection?
It sure is.
Because, you know, when we first started off in PR, the social responsibility was you got to volunteer. You got to go out and support nonprofits and organizations. Now is you got to tell your business. You got to connect. You got to be authentic. You can't hide who you are and expect people to follow you.
They want to see all different sides of you too.
Yeah.
You know, they want to actually see a real person. But because we have all of these cool features on social media, like we gotta, like it just, you gotta make your page live. Like it needs to be a moving page. It can't be like super stagnant.
They want to relate. They want to experience.
Yeah, people, they want to experience, even if they're not ever going to experience you in real life.
Like they people feel like they are.
Mm-hmm. They want to be a part of your world.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got it.
So,
yeah.
So she started off in communications with Kathy Hughes with Radio 1, right?
Yep.
And she is like the advocate for Black women voices in media.
Yes.
Why is that still so important? And how do you maintain that when it is just like flooded with social media now?
Oh my gosh, this is a very deep question. Which direction do I want to go? I'm going to say, like, let's just talk about like social movements and like what it takes to really create change. And that takes having a medium to share mass messaging. Right. So it's important that Black women have a voice, leadership, ownership, position, and really stakeholdership in the media, because if we don't share our stories, if we don't own our voices, if we don't then have these mediums to advocate for the concerns of our community and for ourselves, then you won't hear it. It will be lost. So media is such a powerful medium. It is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and all of the other great wonders of the world and these great people have figured that out. They figured out why media is so powerful, so strong, and why they invest so much money into it, because you can manipulate the minds of people, you can market to their emotions, and you can, whatever you want to impart on people, you can do that through the power of media. And so we see that very vividly in politics.
Yeah,
true.
And they spend so much money on those Super Bowl commercials when they are running for
Isn't
office.
that your favorite, though? It's your favorite. It's the best part of Super Bowl.
You know, and so it's used in a good way and also a negative way. It can be used in a way to distract the masses from what's really happening so that they don't really pay attention and like get up and take action. Or you could really utilize it to start a movement, you know, just like in civil rights time when they were being hosed, you know, Dr. Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks and our civil rights leaders, they staged PR stunts to get on the TV to show the country that there is something going on in our community that we all need to be aware of. Like, this is how they're treating us. This is not right. So it's important that Black women also have that power and that influence. And it's so very more important that we own and that we spend money in Black media and we spend money in women-owned media outlets. That's a whole nother thing too.
Right. Danielle came ready to drop with jewels and some knowledge on
all
us.
The knowledge, yes. But I love that example with the civil rights movement, because you're right. That's exactly what they did. Like, they planned and they strategized. We're going to do this. And when they do this, we're going to respond this way, so that people outside of that immediate area who never otherwise would have heard about what was happening were made aware.
Media.
You're right. Even then on radio and on the news. So imagine like if they had social media then.
Right. And like, I was a part of the NAACP Philadelphia for a very long time. And one of our presidents would say, the point of the NAACP is to dramatize and publicize the movement. We demand and we get in front of the media. And sometimes, you know, people really misunderstood the purpose of the NAACP, but he made it very simple. Listen, we dramatize and publicize.
Very
the
simple.
Message, you know?
The message. Speaking of the message, because I have a 2-part question for you with the message, because that's important. Because a lot of this is all about the message. We spend a lot of money now with content creation and, like you said, politics. And one of your experiences and background is in politics. You were a commissioner in Philly, right? You were appointed commissioner for the mayor, the governor in Philly. And so with that, did you develop messages, or what was your role in that position, or what was your responsibilities?
Yeah, so that was an awesome experience to be so young, to be considered to to be appointed as a commissioner for Governor Tom Wolf of Pennsylvania. So he served his 2 terms. So I pretty much served with him for about 6 years. And so he's on his way out. He's in his last 2 years or whatever. So that's a position you cannot apply for. Mm-hmm. You are simply appointed. That means that people see you doing your thing, and they trust and believe that you could, walk in this light and in this responsibility. So what we simply did as commissioners was advise the governor, literally roundtables of conversations of like, this is what's going on in the Black community, advocating for Black voices. This is what you need to know. This is how you should move. And just really advising him to make the best decisions when it came to the Black community across the state of Pennsylvania. And so I was the youngest commissioner. I would think I was like 25.
Nice.
When I got appointed to it. And I was like, they called my phone. It was like, do you want to be a commissioner for Governor Tom Wolf? I was like, well, what's a commissioner? And they explained it. And I was like, okay, I can do
government book.
Real quick. Yeah, I don't remember them going over that.
I'm like, all right, y'all think I'm good for it? Like, let's run it. Like, I'm cool with that. And so that was really a fabulous opportunity. But it also gave me opportunity to work on a lot of campaigns throughout the state. I was able to really be a stakeholder and a voice for the millennial generation throughout the state. Mm-hmm. I was able to bring official greetings on behalf of the governor wherever, maybe I went out to speak. Mm-hmm. And so it was really a public figure position to really utilize to your advantage. It was such a great opportunity. I was able to book some talent to perform at the governor's mansion and got them paid. Black talent.
This is like a PR's dream job, by the way.
Touching so many
creative
different things.
Right. You don't have to do the same thing all the time.
Yeah.
That's like
all different types of high-end meetings with a lot of figureheads and decision makers. So it gave you access to a lot of rooms that you wanted to be in with decision makers who really did make change in Pennsylvania through the laws.
And so you provided them with which messages from the community are most important. Right. And so what advice, I would say, not how do you, but what advice would you give to entrepreneurs, specifically women, on how to determine which message they want to put out when using their social media, when branding themselves personally and as a business? How do you determine what's your message?
So I'm going to always say being authentic, but also we have to be very responsible with the tools and the voice and the access that we have. I always think about the next generation and being a example of what I would want them to see. And so you see a lot of misuse, we talk about Black images, Black women images in the media, but it's like a 50-50 conversation. You got people advocating for us, people like me, people I'm pretty sure like you ladies who want to see positive images, but then you got the Megan Thee Stallion, you with it. We with it or we not with it? Right. What do we want, right? You get mad when you see the Meek Mill, Expensive Pain album cover with the woman bent over with her vajayjay out, but then you got the vajayjay on the stage at Powerhouse. What do we want?
It's mixed messages.
It's mixed messages.
It's confusing to the young ones.
Super confusing. I hate it, and I think that at the end of the day, when you are writing your own messages, you have to think about what your moral compass is and what your core values are. Right. We have to have core values. Or you just gonna be blown with the wind, just going with what's trendy. Trendy is cool to to a certain degree for a business strategy, but you just can't be I'm going with the trend and then not being authentically who you are or being socially responsible.
It takes you back to identity.
Identity.
As you said that, I thought about Aretha Franklin.
Yeah.
Aretha Franklin's career lasted how many decades? But across it all, good, bad, and different, regardless of what people thought, she was who she was. Mm-hmm. She was consistent across.
Right. Yeah.
She was consistent across it, but that leads to longevity as opposed to going with the wind and whatever the trend is, because people don't know who you really are. Right. So how can they follow you and stick behind you and your product and they don't really know, because you change from week to week based upon whatever's hot.
Yeah.
So I love that example.
And, she came from the church circuit, from church music and literally the church circuit. She traveled with the church circuit and sang. And so when she transitioned, like you said, through those years, they wanted to say, I thought you was a church girl. And she was like, God lives within me. Everywhere I go, I am the church girl. Like, it's a part of my voice. It's a part of who I am, my sound. So just because you adjust with the trends doesn't mean your identity and your moral compass has to change. So I definitely agree with you, Natalie, on that. That identity is very important. And that's a great example.
Yeah. Awesome.
So I have a question for you guys. We're going to kind of soup it up. I'm just excited. It's our new show on Tuesday, and I'm just like so excited. We were on every other Friday before. So today we're on Tuesday. And so
Tuesday?
Every other
Tuesday.
What's up? When we going to do every Tuesday?
You know what? Please, I hope Grant and Michael did not hear you, because Grant says the same thing. Like, you guys going to do every week?
Yeah, we need more stories.
We have other commitment,
right? Or we need someone like you that can help us redistribute and do the message and grow it, because it is a lot of work. I love us managing the business and trying to learn to do this side.
Right. I love it. I'm here for it. So whatever y'all need, y'all got me. Tuesday works for me.
Did we write? We have that recorded, right?
We got that on camera.
Let's do it.
So I want to spoof it up a little bit. So messaging, right? So we could do this, but we're just going to do it as an imaginary setting, right? So we're in the boardroom and they said, look, we're going to put money towards you. We're going to put money in a budget for you to be able to brand any message you want. Something that has to do with women, because that's our show, right? Minority, and a message that you feel like is so important that you want to advocate, and we're going to back it with money. We're going to get you everything you need for that message to be heard around the masses. Which message or which social cause are you going to take on? What are you going to advocate for?
Just real money?
Yes, real money.
I feel it. I feel the real money.
Real money. Real money. Real money for you, and real money for you to change the lives of those that are important to you. And what is that message that is most important to you that you would use this once in a lifetime opportunity? The Black Godfather. You know who the Black Godfather is, right? Have you seen the show Clarence? Avon on
no,
that's on Netflix. You have to go see
I don't
it.
See nothing.
Oh, you have to go see that. It's so good.
I'll go see it.
Yeah,
so
it's worth the time.
He set you down and he says, okay, I'm gonna get the funding for you.
Oh.
Okay.
So my message would be to empower, equip, and encourage women to own their voices. So I would advocate on behalf of the voices of women globally, not just a specific, race, but all women's voices. Imagine if all women's voices came together, we could literally shake up the entire planet.
Yeah.
In a like-mindedness, because everything starts with the woman.
Yeah.
And we have so many shared experiences.
Right.
Across race lines, there's just a lot of shared experiences that all women go through and that we can connect across. So my advocacy will always be on behalf of the voices of women.
Are you trying to be showing a co-host on our show? Because that's literally what this show is about. It's showing that journey and that voice of women, because
as like-minded.
Because as Enterprise Empresses, we see they talk about a lot about where you were and where you're going or at, but they don't talk about the journey, the in between. They don't talk about how you started off as, in my case, you start off as a single woman. And then I want people to see that journey when I get married and have kids, and how I balance what I was doing before and what I'm doing now.
Yeah,
and how I can still have my voice. Or like her, she's already married with kids. So how I find a balance between this. And then her kids are going to be grown soon. And so it's like, okay, what am I doing with all this time now? And what is it like for me now? Do I get to hustle more? Do I get to focus on my husband? Or do I get to start a new venture? Like seeing the journey. What did it take for you to be a Black woman in media? What did it take for you to be an Asian woman, and as a small business owner, or as a franchisee, like we want to talk about the journey of what it took, what it's taken, and how you keep it going, right? So
that's right.
I love your message. Natalie, what's your message?
I'm big on purpose and finding what your purpose is. So that's what I would be. Like what I always say is what I always tell my kids, and I've said it a few times, is what is the thing that you would do for free? Like if you made no money, what is that thing? Because that's where your purpose is. Like you would do media even if you didn't get paid for it. But you found a way to get paid to do what you enjoy doing. Right. So find that thing, right? So that's what I would be doing, like helping women find what that purpose is and what that thing is, because then it's never work because you enjoy it so much. And then we can come and we can get with you and what you're doing, and we can change the world. We can change the planet because I know what my purpose is now. So now I can move forward and connect with other women and her purpose and what she's doing. See how we have so much in common. And yeah, we can do some stuff.
And expand the voice, huh?
We can do some stuff.
Okay, then I'm going to come in.
They need that. People need help with finding their purpose.
Yeah, because it's not easy.
Yeah, and I feel really bad when I hear adults still struggling with that. And it makes me so grateful to have found my identity and like my passions and my purpose at a young age.
Yeah.
And just being brought up in an environment that encouraged me to explore.
Yeah. And everybody doesn't have that, or they don't have people around them, depending upon where you come from, who did that for themselves or knew how or had the tools in order to teach you and to show you how. So I didn't know how to do it. I can't give you something that I don't have. Right. But if I can put you in an environment, like for me, I don't know how to swim, right? I hate the water. But I wanted to make
Florida?
I am. I grew up right but I wanted to make sure my children knew how to swim because I knew if they ever got in the pool and were drowning, I couldn't save them. So what did I do? I gave them the tools by putting them in those swim lessons so that they could swim, and if an emergency came up,
right,
they could get out. Now, 2 of them did well. One of them, she's a special one, but I gave them the tools. So like in that same way, people haven't always been in environments that cultivate that just because they didn't know how. Because I couldn't teach them to swim. I could teach them to drive, which I did.
Right.
But I can't teach you, like I can't give you what I don't have.
That's a fact.
Yeah. What would yours be, Sharon? Tell us.
Maternal health.
No.
Yeah.
Natalie and I it's just tugging at me. We keep talking about that. It keeps coming back. Maternal health. Just not just mentally, but mental health, but also not just physical health. We talk about physical health, mental health, but also on down to the support we need in the healthcare system.
Yeah.
Yeah. The support we need. There's so many things that I feel like we have neglected because we just didn't know how to advocate for ourselves. We didn't know to ask the right questions. We didn't know what questions to even ask.
Right.
And when we did talk to a doctor, it was, you got 10 minutes and you go on to the next patient and the next patient. Right. So making sure that they understand what they need to be healthy physically, emotionally, exercise-wise, but also within your body, internally within your body. On down to having the financial support.
That's huge.
To do it.
That's huge.
Like it's one thing to know something's wrong, but you can't afford to do anything about it. So you say, you know what, I'm just going to try to live my best life until my time comes. People should be able to get the health that they need, So maternal health is something I think if your body, your mind, your spirit, you're in shape, I think then you are in a mental space to understand your purpose. You're in a mental space to be able to share your voice. But if you're not feeling good, you're not feeling good and you feel like you don't have the resources to feel better, you feel defeated.
Yeah. That's a fact.
And there are a lot of people walking around feeling defeated. There's a scripture that says, and it's a saying book, and oh Lord, it came and it went, but it talks about a heart deferred. It's like Natalie, what is it?
Hope deferred.
Hope deferred. It kills your spirit. And so if you're expecting, the doctors, or if you're expecting your parents, or sometimes even just, God or your family to be able to help you do something and you don't have access to that, it's like you feel defeated. Your spirit is killed and it's like hope deferred. So if we had the right resources to be healthy all the way around, I think that we could do a lot more and our voices would be more positive, and then it could transcend and impact more women.
I like that.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly believe in holistic like health and well-being.
It's all connected.
It's all connected. Yeah.
So as we wrap up, Danielle, tell us, where can we find you on social?
Wait, the time came that quick?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you serious?
Yes, ma'am, it did.
I had another question. Media is like my heart, and marketing and branding. Right. So I was like, man, okay.
We don't have time for one more question.
We do.
Slide it in.
We love our producer. We love our producer. Okay, it has to be a good one. A good one. Let me see. Which one is a good one? I just wanted to keep the talk going. Oh, man. Okay, so let's say, what's a good one, Natalie?
I don't know.
Anybody out there? We have
anybody out there?
Anybody out there? I don't want to end it. I want another question.
You had another question. What's your question? What you want to?
You used all your questions on your phone?
I feel like a good one in media. Let's see. So I think we've asked them, actually. Yeah. I've told them I wanted another question though.
Sure.
How do you go about understanding how much money you should invest in branding and marketing? And is it too much? Because it's
or not enough?
Or not enough.
Branding and marketing, honestly, my mentor says, if they don't know you, they can't flow you. If they don't know your name, they can't spend money with you. So marketing has to be a strong component to all businesses. Like, don't ever get tired of promoting your business. Don't ever get tired of talking about your business, even if people aren't engaging back. You need to have an omnipresence online. You just show up in their stories, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on YouTube. Like, people just need to have alerts of you. You need to be running ads. You need to be spending a lot of money in marketing. So I like to advise like small businesses and, our up and coming owners, CEOs, invest 30% of your profit back into a marketing budget and spend money in marketing. Okay. It is the investment that you need in order to get more profits back into the business. Yeah. And bigger corporations, they spend 50, 60, 70% of their profit into marketing because it's a revolving door. The money's going to come right back to you if you're doing effective marketing. So you have to market, you have to post, you have to be annoying, you have to talk about your business. And it just has to happen. If you don't want to do that, you're not going to make any money.
I know that's so scary for people who are not tech savvy or who maybe have had a business for a long time and now they're having to transform and do something different. I know that's so scary.
No, we got to learn TikTok.
I know.
Right? I have not even gotten TikTok yet.
And you're a dancer.
Right? It's like, what do I put on TikTok?
No, I love watching it, and I'm like, I need to get up and figure this out. But
we got to do
just so much.
That's where the next generation is. My kids, my girls go to TikTok for everything. It doesn't matter what it is.
It's my cookbook now.
That is crazy.
TikTok, hair. TikTok, you name it, TikTok. But where'd you see it? On TikTok? Mommy, it's on TikTok. I'm going to send it to you. Like, everything.
Everything's on TikTok.
It used to be Google. Now it's TikTok. I find it hilarious. But she does everything on TikTok. So it is where you're going to have to.
Well, I would say as our last nugget is just breathe. Sometimes this can feel very overwhelming. It's like Clubhouse, TikTok, IG, Facebook, Twitter. Breathe and breathe, learn one thing at a time and start growing in it. And then, where you can't figure it out, just hire somebody to do it, like Danielle. So where can they find you to hire you?
Hey, everyone. So go ahead and check out my Instagram. You can follow me at DP Jeter. That is D Danielle P Page J Jeter, just like Derek. Also, you can text me. Text me at 267 732-0840. That's 267-732-0840. Go ahead and text me the word Jeter, and we'll be connected directly through text. But Instagram and text is perfect.
That's really good.
You know,
I like
she's a
the
media
text.
person because she's like, I can text you.
I like
Do
the
not text me. Send me an email. I may not answer for it. No, I'm just joking. Okay, Natalie, where can they find us?
Where can you find us? You can find us at Enterprise Empress on IG, and you can find us at Fit Enterprises. Is it Fit Enterprises Inc? We should know this.
Fit Enterprises Inc.
Yes.
.com.
Yes, that's our website. So
it's the end. Now it's time to say goodbye to all of our Enterprise Empresses.
Yes.
EMPRESS.
We're having a Mickey Mouse Club.
Yes. No, seriously though, you guys, thank you for tuning in. Again, we are now on Tuesdays at 3:00. Until we see you again in 2 weeks, wear your crown.
Wear them well.
And enjoy your week.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, Danielle.
Thank you.